think I'm live now. Hi guys, how are you all doing? This is Game Devlog 2. I am in the middle of creating a game using RPG Maker MC, and it's been a very slow process. It's a work in progress at the moment, and I just wanted to give you guys an update because it's been a while. So the last devlog, if you haven't already, please do check out the previous devlog, and huge apologies as well regarding the first devlog that I made because, by the way, it's called RPG Maker MC Game Development Log. Yeah, Game Development Log. What was it? Story and Character Creation. So that's the title for the very first game devlog I made regarding this game, which is called The Last Lightbringer. That's the name of my game. And yeah, it's been a huge work in progress. So I'm apologizing about the first devlog because it was not perfectly processed. So the actual video itself, when I was editing it, so I decided to record it instead of stream it, just because I wanted it to be a little bit choppy in terms of editing. I wanted to edit it rather than it including all of those really awkward moments whenever I do record or stream. I can't do that this time because for some reason, whenever I record something and then I put it on YouTube, YouTube decides to decrease the quality of my video. Thanks, YouTube. Yeah, so I really do apologize for the very shit quality of the first devlog. So I did repost it and it's a tiny bit better. But I was just cringing at how pixelated it looked at certain parts. But then again, I didn't look back to see just how pixelated it was. So you guys let me know. Anyway, so this is the second game devlog, and I'm not expecting anyone to actually be watching because I only have 32 subscribers on the second channel. But if anyone does pop up, I will check every now and then at the chat. I can't on my phone. Usually I check the chat on my phone. That's because on my phone it is, how do I say it? The account is my main account. So my main channel is Sharon Rove if you're interested in One Piece reactions and movie reactions and Tomb Raider and gameplays in general, because I do games over on the other channel. This channel is all about my game development process in making The Last Lightbringer. It has been a very difficult process because I do not have any game development experience, so I'm not a game developer. I'm a very much a beginner game developer in this. It's my first game, so I don't have any prior experience in coding, not even in character or concept design. So I literally don't have any sort of game design experience. So that's why it's been difficult trying to figure out what the art style and what's the story gonna be, and what the game mechanics are going to be, what are the main themes, what are the levels going to be like, what are the chapters going to be like, because obviously there's got to be something going on for each chapter. That's how I've decided to design my game. Regarding that, there's nothing major, there's nothing concrete just yet, because I've been focusing so much on changing and overhauling the actual character art. That being said, I have no experience whatsoever in character art. As I've said, I don't have any experience in anything really. But I do at least have a bit of experience, bit of an understanding about how to edit pictures. And because I'm fairly good, I wouldn't say I'm perfect, but I'd say I'm fairly good at editing pictures. And because of that, I thought to myself, well, if I hire someone to make all of the characters' portraits, when I say character portraits, I mean this right here. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, so that's the character portrait, and this is what it looked like. So this is my main character, Nora. First of all, her name's Nora. And so in the actual character creation software that I bought, is £100. Oh man, the things you have to buy to get really good things, because I'm not impressed with the actual art available on RPG Maker MC, the default art. I'm not a big fan of the character sprites, because I was not a big fan of the character sprites and the battlers, especially the battlers. I think it looks a little bit too chibi like. I think it's appropriate if you're making something quite light-hearted, maybe even a horror. But in my game, it's a bit. There's a mix of a light-hearted tone and a serious tone. But I feel like because of the inclusion of ghouls, jinns, and supernatural figures, it just I just felt like it doesn't really fit having the chibi style sprites. And at the beginning, I thought to myself, I just want taller sprites, but then I thought to myself, they look still very chibi like, and I do love chibis, by the way, I do, but the art style, it just didn't fit, in my opinion. So I overhauled that by using the character creation software, 8D character creation software. So just wanted to explain this. Actually, I think it's better if I just go on GIMP, because I've been using a lot of GIMP. Let's see, GIMP. So for those that don't know, GIMP is an image manipulation software, and it is free. It is pretty much the free version of Photoshop. My goodness, like when I first started learning about GIMP, so this was like when I started thinking about game development for this game, I had no idea what to do. Like it didn't look very what's the word for it? Intuitive. It didn't look intuitive at first. I was like, where is everything? How do I make something on this? And then eventually I figured out the tutorials don't help, by the way. The tutorials on YouTube, they don't really help. People don't really explain things properly. That's something that I've noticed, and not for everyone. Like even when I was like watching a lot of RPG Maker tutorials, I wouldn't say everyone, but I just felt like they were kind of rushing through explanations, especially when I was trying to like learn how to parallax map. And then I decided to myself, no, I can't do parallax mapping. I still don't understand how it works. It just looks way too difficult. It looks way too time consuming, and I don't want the awful loading times either. And I don't want it to potentially crash the game either. Anyway, I should probably show you the character creation software, but I'm just going to open this up first. Let's see, Nora menu. Okay, I've got the custom Nora's face. Is that the one? God, man, I've got so many of these that it's kind of hard to tell. Okay, I'll just open this one up. So this is where I've like proper edited her. Not proper, but like I've tweaked her. And let's see the actual yep, that one. And is it this new custom Nora? Yeah, I'll open this one up. Okay, I don't know if you can even see that much of a difference, but I'll show you. So this is the beauty of the 8D character creator software. It literally provides you with character sprites, character battlers, and character busts. So like actual portraits of the characters for whenever they're talking and for any sort of event that happens. And let me introduce you to Nora. This is Nora, and I tried so hard to like try to figure out how to make like a headscarf on her, because the thing about this program, it is so versatile, is really good actually, is amazing. It has a lot of different outfits, but it doesn't have every kind of outfit. So eventually I'm going to see this as quite limiting, but I would still recommend this. Despite the very hefty price tag, I paid £100 for the software. And the reason why I did that was because I just thought, technically speaking, it's going to be more cost effective for me compared to hiring a character artist to make the character portraits, because I know they're going to be charging like, let's say, $60 per character, as opposed to trying to give you a discount or something. So mathematically, and I'm good at my maths, I figured that nah, instead of paying someone who's gonna like charge that much, this is in regards to characters. When it comes to capsule art, I'm definitely hiring someone to make my Steam capsule art, and the game cover. But in regards to the characters, I feel like I can do it by using the software. So obviously this is not my own art, but I do tweak here and there. So I don't know if you noticed, but I put like buttons on her, like shiny buttons on her, and I also just made this look more like an actual scarf. And yeah, so those are the two main changes. I didn't really change anything else. I don't know if I will change anything else. I do want her to stand out, and this is what I did. So when it comes to my female characters, this is a really good software. Like it's giving you so much because let me just show you. Swing. It takes some time. Yeah, so there's so many different kinds of animations per character sprite. And let's see the first. Okay. Two. Like if you wanted to have a dual wielded person. So as you can see, there's like so many different kinds of animations that they can do. And if you had an archer, then that's the animation for it. So yeah, this is Nora, and I'll show you Princess Jada. This is Princess Jada, so she's got the bow and arrow. She's my archer. She's the archer in the party. So there's five members in the party, and that's Nora, Prince Faris, Prince Zara, Princess Jada, and Khalil. And Khalil and Nora, they come from the same kind of area. So they're both villagers. They both come from villages, Nora and Khalil, whereas the others are actually from the Three Kingdoms. There will be three kingdoms, so she's part of the Sand Kingdom, the Desert Kingdom, and Prince Faris, who I'll show in the actual other program. He's part of, he's still in kind of like a desert area, but it's not as hot as Jada's kingdom. And then Prince Zara, he comes from a snow kingdom, a very winter-esque kingdom, and I was thinking that I should make his castle look a lot more gothic and a lot more vampiric almost. I've even made his character design more vampiric, so I'll just show you that now. There you go. So that's Zara, Prince Zara, and I'm still trying to figure out his abilities because he's been a little bit of a tricky one to kind of work out, but he's kind of like a vampire, but I'm not going to state that he's a vampire. He doesn't blood suck, but that could be an ability of his. He manipulates blood. He's a blood manipulator. So that's, and he's an axe wielder. He's my axe wielder. I was going to show you on the other program because his face has completely changed, but this is Prince Faris, but with a different face that I've already put for him in the other program. And he's my paladin. He's the paladin knight of the party, and let's see, Khalil. And this is Khalil, who is my thief, who is a shinobi, a future shinobi as well. He desires to become a ninja. Okay, so that's the party members, and yeah, so for Nora, I've decided to tweak her. I've also tweaked Jada, but I've been having some difficulties with GIMP because GIMP, for some reason, is not acknowledging the color pink, and because they're not acknowledging the color pink, I can't change Jada's lipstick color. I'm finding it difficult, so I'm gonna have to find a way to work that out. And let's see if anyone has. Nope. Okay, that's fine. And okay, so yeah, so I've done a little bit in terms of character bust. when I say character busts, I mean character portraits. So that's what I've been working on. I've also created the prologue script, so I'm just going to show that now. Wherever it is. Was it here? Yeah, I think it was here. So I'm using Scrivener to make my script, and the reason why I'm making a script beforehand, and I'm like doing bit by bit, so I'm like kind of all over the place in terms of like doing this game development, because I have hardly at all touched the actual like maps. So the idea was to create the locations first, but then for some reason I decided to work on my characters first by making the, when I say make, it's not actually me making it, it's just the software that makes the character sprites, the battlers, and the character portraits. I've also been doing a little bit, not too much really, a little bit of the actual game intro, and I'm going to be changing this really. I mean the intro part of it, and then so this starts off with Zara. He ends up trying to find the votes in the castle because he thinks his dad, who is the king, is up to something very bad, and he's trying to investigate what crime he actually committed because his father is a very ruthless, evil king, and because of that, has has always had quite a roguelike nature about him due to the way he's raised, but he is going to be standing up against his father, against the king, which is treason. So he ends up on the run. I can't spoil exactly what crime the king has committed, but yeah. So this is what I've done in terms of, it's really not much. So that's the prologue. Zara going against his own father, but the story is not actually about Zara, it's about the party overall, even though it's mainly Nora's story that is going to be the focus, and I've decided to put it in chapters. So the first chapter is the apothecary scene where Nora is working as an assistant or co-owner, really, of the apothecary. I thought it was apothecary, but it's actually apothecary. So yeah, she's a pharmacist and she's making these amazing potions for the customers, but without them knowing about her Lightbringer abilities. She's a Lightbringer, which just means that she's able to create and manipulate light. She's very much at a beginner level. She's not able to do anything amazing at the beginning, but it does become crucial for her a little bit later on. See, these are some of the tiles. I don't want to go into the actual details story. So that script, I haven't really done much, but yeah. Also, I've been trying to see what I can do in terms of the map because I'm not satisfied. I don't know if I even saved it. Probably not. Because I'm not feeling too much of the RTP graphics. Yeah, no. So I'm going to be changing a lot of this. So what I did was I purchased the Winloo Fantasy exterior assets, and I got these assets which I thought just looked a lot better. The thing is, I can't do parallax mapping, at least at not this stage. I don't think I'll end up doing it just because it seems way too time consuming, and I don't have that skill, that knowledge to really pull it off. So I'm just gonna have to stick with this. And this is what it looks like. Yeah, I added this one. So these ones are not actually included in the Winley Fantasy one. I got these tile sets, so these orange houses and these green houses from, I believe it's the FES resource pack. And I just thought they just looked so much better. So I've just been practicing how to make houses, because I was just thinking to myself, like, I don't want everyone's houses or everyone's shops to look the exact same, but I did want I just wanted to look more dynamic, more attractive looking as a village. And by the way, I was just practicing on it, so the actual village is not going to include all of these, but then again, I do I do like the idea of exploring other characters' houses, because that's what I used to do in Final Fantasy. I would literally go to every kind of house or building that I could enter, and then take the treasure there or interact with someone to do a side quest. So because of that, because I love that, I love the idea of exploration. It's not open world, just to clarify. It's not an open world, but it will have. It is very narrative driven, so technically linear, but it will give you side quests to do in case you want to branch out of the main story. There will definitely be a lot of options to do side quests instead of just doing the main quest. Yeah, because I don't want it to feel very constricting, and I personally do like doing side quests as well. And yeah, so the village, there's two villages that I need to make. There's Saydala village, which has my main character's home, Nora's home, as well as Nora's pharmacy, apothecary, and it also has an inn. And I do want to include a church as well as a mosque. But I think I'm gonna put the mosque. It could be the other way around. Maybe I put the mosque in her village and the church in the other village. So the other village is literally like a 15 or 20 minute walk, so it's not too far away. And these villages are like remote villages. They're away from the kingdoms, away from the Forbidden Forest. Yes, I have a Forbidden Forest as well. So yeah. So yeah, I've just been practicing on like how to make houses, and I really like how I did this one. This one's really nice, and yeah, so I'll see what I'll actually keep and what I won't. I'm not going to do this live to like actually make the village, at least not today. Maybe next time I'll make. Actually, I don't know, because I'm so indecisive. Like I'm not good at designing maps. That's the thing. Because I don't have prior RPG Maker experience. This is my first game, so that's why it's so daunting to me. And I've just felt like the previous maps that I made, they just looked a bit crap. But then again, I used the RTP. Um, yeah, so it's just been a huge learning process, figuring out how to use this, as well as figuring out how to use GIMP to customize my characters further. And yeah, pretty much. Just gonna see how long. I don't know how. Okay, I'm just gonna check to see how long it's been. Okay. So another thing that I've been doing is trying to make a title screen. About that. So the thing, how a game starts off, it starts off with a bunch of splash screens, and I've been looking into plugins to see if it can like allow you to use multiple splash screens, because I do want a splash screen to show my game developer logo. So I've been making my game developer logo. It's still a work in progress, but I'll just show you it now. so this is the game developer logo that I made. So obviously when you're making a game, you do need to come up with your own studio name, and I decided on Chandra Games, and I'll explain why I called it that. So Chandra is Hindi for moon. I was thinking of the Bengali word, which is Chand, I believe, and I just thought it doesn't quite sound great, so I'll just stick with Chandra. So it means moon, and the moon symbolizes mystery to me. The moon symbolizes darkness, mystery, intuition, witchcraft, I guess. And I just felt like because my games have that mystery element and witchcraft element, magical kind of element, and a little bit dark, I guess, I just thought, yeah, that will be the name for it. So I just wanted to explain that because I didn't know what else to call my game developer logo. So I will show the splash screen. Like, as soon as you open the game, there will be a splash screen to show you the game developer logo, as well as probably an RPG Maker logo. I'm not ashamed of it, so I can let you guys know that it's an RPG Maker game. Not ashamed whatsoever of it. I don't think there's any need to be ashamed of it or anything. I just need to find a good image for that, or put it all together. So yeah, I've even been learning how to use Canva. So Canva is actually quite easy to use. It's not really difficult. I do find that when it comes to making a video, that it becomes a little bit more complicated and quite restrictive. But it does have some animation options which are really cool. Yeah. And in terms of the actual title screen, this is a work in progress. I don't really know what I'm gonna do. Let's see. So this is one version of it. So this is like the title screen, which will show new game, continue, options, end game. So that's what I mean by title screen. I'm not totally satisfied with it. And by the way, I did recreate the logo just because I really like the idea of infusing an image with the actual letter, with a letter. So I decided to infuse this with that letter right there. I just thought it looked a little bit more professional. Yeah, so yeah, it just keeps on being sparkly. Yeah, and I included these because there are witches, there are sorcerers in the game, and they're obviously the bad guys. Okay, so that's one version, and let's see. So this is the very first version I made. I don't know. So obviously you could just put the capsule art as the title screen. But I quite like the idea of it being quite simple. Obviously, I've not included any music yet because I'm still working on what the actual title screen music is going to be. That's been a little bit tough to kind of work out. But yeah, so this is just a work in progress. I don't really know what to do for the title screen. And okay, so now I need to make the actual lore intro. Okay, so let's see what I can do regarding lore intro. So basically I've been working on what the actual lore is in the game. I just need to research about how this is done again. Make an intro with scrolling. it can, even though it's a beginner friendly software, it's still quite confusing to use RPG Maker sometimes. So sometimes I have to look at it. Okay, this is done in various way of making an intro. Credit screen. Okay, I'm gonna watch this one.
Welcome back, RPG makers. Well, you can see it scrolls up so you can see the item shop.
Okay, not that. Okay, so this one was done with JavaScript.
Good day, everyone, and welcome back to RPG Maker Hacked, a series where I'll be showing you.
Okay, so this is basically what I mean on making a lore intro. Hold on, just was just drinking some water. Okay, so this one is using JavaScript, which is the programming scripting language in RPG Maker. I don't feel like I really need to use it just because I'm fine with the speed levels already incorporated RPG Maker MC. So I have already watched this video. I just need to rewatch it to see what the actual steps were again. So this is what we want to create. Okay, so the first thing we need to do. Show scrolling text. Okay, so he's made an event. Okay, so really just that. Okay, I need to make on a blank screen. Okay. I think I know what to do. Now let's make a new map. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so this is the lore intro. Scroll type. And then for the parallax background, so we've got a blue sky, we've got clouds, dark space, desert night, forest, island of sky 2, lava. This was just, I was trying to parallax map, but it failed. This is mountains 2, mountains 3, ocean, red sky, river, snow forest, space, starlight, twilight, universe. Okay, so this is just a work in progress, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to change this, but I'm just going to include it anyway. Why does it say scroll type here, but then it says it here? That's a bit confusing. So I guess I'll just go no loop here, and then for the actual size. Okay, so the thing is that my resolution, I don't know, 1920 by 1080 is usually like the full HD resolution you can pick. But I can just use the 1280 by 720. I guess I'll just keep it at 1730 because I don't know what else to do. And I'm going to loop this horizontally so that it actually moves, the picture moves. And then scroll speed, maybe 2. The scroll speed is to do with like the speed that the image moves. Yeah. Okay. Oh, this is tiny. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna pick here. Okay, I'll just pick here. So I'm gonna make an event. First event, and then this event is law intro scrolling text. Okay, so for this, scrolling text, and then I can copy and paste what I wrote here. Okay, so this is a work in progress. I'm most likely going to change things, but this also helps me to figure out the lore, the monsters that will be included in this game. So here we go. In the world of Ashika lies demons, ghouls, and sorcerers that plague the lands and wreak havoc on the weak. Collectively, they are called the Shayateen. That's plural for Satan, devils in Arabic. Individually, they are grouped in 6 different categories by the kingdoms based on threat level. Class E are ghouls that shapeshift into small creatures. Class D are ghouls that shapeshift into large creatures. These ghouls sometimes also appear in their natural form as shadow entities. Class C are called Ifrits, which are powerful creatures of fire that also attack with fire. Class B are called Sahirs, who are sorcerers that have a collection of casting various spells. Class A are called Maris, which are giant creatures that can summon tsunamis and destroy whole cities. The only known ways of defeating these creatures are through mastering any of the following skills. The Holy Art of Paladin Exorcism, a type of sword art designed to exorcise demonic creatures in the name of God. The Crystal Art of Elements, mastering the 4 elements using the power of crystals. The Sacred Blood Arts, though dark and brutal in power, even the Shayateen flee from this. However, lost in history is the art of light bringing. No one knows what this is, and no one knows who they are. But there is this one girl in a remote village that bears the burden of having this gift, a gift that must be kept secret in the lands that forbid sorcery. She is one girl who knows very little of who she is. She is one girl who knows very little of how powerful she is. As the forces of darkness grow in number and the threat of the Sahirs and Maris increase, it is up to 5 young and brave warriors to stop this evil for good and stop it from having any influence over the kings. It's a little bit on the lengthier side, but I'm still gonna just copy and paste, and I'll tweak it as I go. It is what it is. Okay, so I don't know if everything's gonna be included. Maybe I'm gonna have to put things on the next line. Yeah, I need to make paragraphs for this. Oh, my leg is hurting. Make a space there. Okay, for now I'll just do that. Okay, what does it look like? Should I put a fade in? I could put a fade in. So I've got all these effects. What does this do? Okay. I'm just checking all my options. Okay. Fade in the... Sage to fade out, but snip. Okay, I want to check. Put that at the beginning. Okay. And then as for my because I need to make sure the player starts there. Transparent. Yes, starting transparent because I don't want the player to be seen. And then the player. Okay, for now. I hope I did it right. And by the way, I changed the kind of border here to turquoise. Okay, so the background is moving, but the scrolling, maybe it's because I didn't add the self switch. Appears when okay. They don't add a wait time. And then this needs to fade out. And then maybe I need to put it on parallel. Let's see if that makes a difference. Nice. Yeah, it's a little bit cut off. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna fix that. I wish they would have like the wrap text effect. Oh yeah, if you click on it, then it goes faster like this. Or if you press enter, it goes a bit faster. It's a little bit too fast actually. We need time to read that. So let's fix the speed. Edit. Maybe 0.5. Oh no, really? Okay, let's just work on that. There's demons, ghouls, and sorcerers. Okay, it's cut off. Okay, what is going on? Ah, it's frozen. The hell? Okay, it's frozen. Because there's too many programs going on, so I do think I need to close that one, close this one, close that. Oh, do I have to not even save? This usually doesn't happen. It's just because there were so many programs going on. It's because I'm streaming as well. I just hope it saved it. Okay, let's see if it's saved. Okay, it did. I need to use a tissue. Sorry, I had to blow my nose there. Okay, right, so, okay, so that's the thing about using JavaScript. So, you know that video that was showing how to use JavaScript to customize it further? Because the thing about using RPG Maker MC or any program really is that there will be restrictions on it. So with this one, there's restrictions. You can only put speed from 1 to 8, but you can't do a 0.5, for example. So I might have to do JavaScript eventually. I don't know. What was I going to do? Let me check this. Because I think 1 is fine as a speed. In the world of Ashraka lies demons, ghouls, and sorcerers. Collect the alcohol shouting. Oh yeah, we need to fix the cutting off. Oh, I keep pressing the wrong thing. Okay, so this is not helping me. Because I don't know. Okay, so it's that line. Why don't they just wrap the text? This is so stupid. Like, even normal programs include this feature of wrapping the text. So there's this line here that tells you where it's going to cut off, but they should just automatically allow you to wrap the text. There are plugins. I do realize there's plugins, but it should just come automatic. No. This is quite annoying because what if you like wrote like such a long piece of text? Can you imagine that? Don't want it to be that close. I think that should be okay now. And then, should we align it for the middle? I think it is better in the middle. In the world of Ashraka lies demons, ghouls, and sorcerers that plague the lands and wreak havoc on the weak. Collectively, they are called the Shayateen. Individually, they are grouped in 6 different categories by the kingdoms based on threat level. Class E are ghouls that shapeshift into small creatures. Class D are ghouls that shapeshift into large creatures. These ghouls sometimes also appear in their natural form as shadow entities. Class C are called Ifrits, which are powerful creatures of fire that also attack with fire. Class B are called Sahirs, who are sorcerers that have a collection of casting various spells. Class A are called Maris, which are giant creatures that summon tsunamis and destroy cities. The only known ways of defeating... Okay, so I think I might have to use JavaScript to customize that further because even with me reading it, knowing what the story is pretty much, I don't know the words word for word. It went a little bit too fast. Okay. So how was that done?
JavaScript. In today's episode, we're going to be going over the show scrolling text command. Scrolling text in some way, shape, or form has been a part of RPGs since basically the beginning. It's the iconic information dump. It's a great way to get the player up to speed on the game's backstory. With RPG Maker's show scrolling text command, you can achieve the same thing without having to show tons and tons of message boxes. Let's first go over how the eventing command works. Open up an event and create a new event command. On page 1, in the message section, click on the last option called Show Scrolling Text. In this new window, you'll see a giant empty box. This is where you'll put your text. I'm sure there's a character limit, but I haven't found it yet, and trust me, I have tried. I put the entire first chapter of The Hobbit in a single text box. That's over 45,000 characters.
A lot of words.
So just make sure your scrolling text is not longer than the first chapter of The Hobbit, and you should be just fine. Next, you can choose the speed of the scrolling text, and that can be between 1 and 8, 1 being the slowest and 8 being the fastest. Last, you can choose if you'd like to allow the player to fast forward the text or not. By default, the player can fast forward, meaning if the Z key is pressed, it will double the speed of the scrolling text. And if it's disabled, the player will have to read the text at the speed you chose. Once you've got everything set, click OK, and there you go. Scrolling text will now be shown on the screen. Now, let's see how to do that in JavaScript. Open up the event and create a new event command. On page 3, in the bottom right corner, select Script. In the new window, the first thing we're going to do is type the text we're going to show. To do this, we're going to store that text in a variable. So type var, which is short for variable, and then you can name the variable whatever you'd like. You could call it story, text, information, whatever fits your needs. Let's call our variable story. Then put an equal sign and then an open square bracket. Then on a new line, this is where you're going to put your text. To start, put a quotation mark. It doesn't matter if it's a single or double quotation mark, but you will have to use the same at the end of the line. Let's go with a single quotation mark. Then we'll type the first line of text. Then, once you get to the end of the line, put a quotation mark, a comma, then create a new line, and then do that same thing again. Single quotation, type the text, close the quotation, comma, so on and so forth. Keep doing this for as many lines of text as you need. If you ever need to create a new paragraph, all you'll do is at the end of the line, before you close out the quotations, type \n. This will create a new line, then close a quotation and add a comma if you're planning on adding a new line. Now, if you're wanting to have quotes in the scrolling text to indicate someone's talking, you can do that just by using the other quotation mark that you didn't use to define the text lines. So, since we're using the single quotation marks, you can use the double quotation marks to signify someone is talking. Once you're done putting lines of text, on the last line, you'll close out the quotation marks like normal, but then put a closing square bracket. Then you'll type .join, and then within single quotation marks, inside parentheses, type \n, and then a semicolon after that. Next, let's define the speed of the text and if the player can fast forward or not. On a new line, type $game, capital M, message, .set, capital S, scroll, and then in parentheses, you're going to type scroll speed, comma, no fast, and then a semicolon. Now, the benefit of using JavaScript, you're not limited to having the scroll speed be between 1 and 8 like the event command is. You can go as fast as you'd like. So say you want to double the max of 8 and go to 16 speed, you can do that. Let's double it again and go to 32 speed. Totally possible. Or you could go the opposite direction. Want to have the text slow to an absolute crawl? You can do something like 0.25 and have the text scroll at a quarter of the lowest speed possible with eventing. It's very slow, but totally possible. After the scroll speed, you'll need to define if the player can or cannot increase the scroll speed. To allow them to fast forward, you'll type false, and then to disallow them, you'll type true. Kind of weird, but remember it's a double negative since the state is no fast forward, so saying false to no, it means true. Yeah. Next, on a new line, we want to show the text that we set in the beginning. So to do that, type $game, capital M, message, .add, then in parentheses, you'll put in the name of the variable you created. We called ours story, so you'll want to type story, then put a semicolon. And last, on a new line, you'll type this.set, capital W weight, capital M mode, and then in parentheses, and then within single quotation marks, type message, and then a semicolon. And there we go. You can now show scrolling text with JavaScript, and you can have it go as fast or as slow as you'd like. Congratulations and well done. I am super proud of you. You now know how
It might be something that I modify later. I don't know. God, I just can't be bothered to do it now, to be honest. There was something that I wanted to show anyway, so I'll just keep this for now. And as I said before, I'll probably... Okay, let me check it again. Do I want to keep this? Also want to see if I've done the lines correctly. And I think there's a way to change the font as well, but it's not in Option Maker MC unless you change the font files. Again, it's so advanced. Advanced techniques. Should make that colon actually. Okay, I need to separate this line. Oh, it was a colon. Did we see a colon? Okay, I'm just gonna... Whoops. It's fine. Okay, I've saved it now. Okay, so I'm gonna show you Prince Faris. So what I've done is, you know how I was saying that I'm editing pictures using GIMP? So what I've done is I've incorporated his RPG Maker portrait with the game creation software. So basically I've mixed up the RPG Maker portrait and I've put it with the body of the character creation software. So let me just show what that looks like. So this is what I've done with Prince Faris because his default look would have looked like this, which is not bad. I actually really like it, but I wanted him to look better looking, to be honest. So this is, and to be honest, it would have like worked well, made him look because it's the same style, same art style as the other ones, so it would make sense to use this. But I thought to myself that I didn't want him to look exactly like this. I might change my mind later on, I don't know. So basically I removed his head and put in the RPG Maker head because I just visualize him to look like that instead. So let me just show you the difference again. And I gave him a scar as well. He didn't have a scar before, but I wanted to give him a battle scar. So this is using RPG Maker MZ for his face portrait, and then I just stuck his body in. So that's what I did using the software. If you guys want like a tutorial on how to make your own character buzz, then let me know so that I can show you how I've done this exactly. Because you have to make sure it looks perfect. Otherwise, it's not going to look good. But obviously, I'm not an expert, but yeah, still probably tweaking to do. I think I'm going to leave it here because I think I've explained everything and I can't be bothered to do the actual intro now. Yes, everything is just a work in progress and things are going to take a long time. So I'm very much working on the actual art. So the art is the priority at the moment. So making sure I've got everyone's character bust done, as well as character bars, perfecting the character sprites. When I say that, I'm not going to tweak them, but I do need to make the NPCs. So I do need to make a lot of NPCs to fill out the villages and to fill out the kingdoms and the character bars. Yeah, so the character portraits for the NPCs also need to be done as well. And then once I'm done with that, I will start making the redoing the villages again. Because as I said, I did do it before, but I didn't like how it looked. So I'm going to have to redo that using the Winlu Fancy exterior assets, as well as the other assets that I've bought. I'm so glad I bought 8D Character Creator software. If you guys want more of an in-depth look into what it looks like, then I can definitely do that in the next devlog to show you exactly what's included and everything. yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. And thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more. I'm just going to close out. Take care. Bye.